I bow to all the seekers of truth. You have to know that truth is what it is. We cannot conceptualize it with our human awareness. We cannot order it. We cannot manipulate it. We cannot organize it. It is what it is, has been and will be. And what is the truth? Truth is that we are surrounded, or we are penetrated, or we are nourished, looked after and loved by a very subtle energy, which is the energy of divine love. The second truth is that we are not this body, this mind, these conditionings, this ego, but we are the spirit. You don't have to accept what I am saying blindly, because blind faith leads to fanaticism. But as scientists, you must keep your mind open and see for yourself what I am saying. If it is so, honestly, you must accept it. We know so much through science about our civilization, our advancement. This is the advancement of a tree which has grown outside very much. But if we do not know our roots, we will be destroyed. So it is important to know about our roots. And this is what it is that I would say are our roots. As you can see, there are 7 centers within us. And these subtle centers are placed in the spinal cord and in the brain. These cater to our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual needs. On the physical side, they manifest the energy for the use of our plexuses, which look after our physical problems. That is on the right side. The energy which is supplied by this yellow line, a subtle channel, we call it as the Pingala Nadi. This supplies energy for our physical and mental actions. So this is the power of action within us, which also caters to the right sympathetic nervous system. The another channel you see on the left hand side is the channel by which we desire, put our energy to our desire. So this is the power of desire and looks after our emotions. This is the one which looks after our conditionings also. At the end of these 2 channels, they create 2 institutions. One on the right side crosses over, and the yellow balloon that you see is the ego, is the balloon of ego that we have. And the left hand side one, which conditions our mind, is the balloon of superego. As we start growing in age, by the time we are 12 years of age, these two completely meet and the soft bone in our head becomes completely calcified. Now there's third energy within us, which is in the center. And this central energy is the one which has made us human beings. And these centers are the milestones of our evolution. So now the last jumping is left out. It has reached up to the limbic area. Now, only thing is it has to break through the soft bone on the head and break through that, which is the actualization of baptism. Baptism is not an artificial thing. It is an actualization. But the energy that does it is, we call it sleeping energy, in the triangular bone called as sacrum. That means the Greeks knew that this is a sacred bone, that they called it sacrum. This energy has to rise and break through that fontanelle bone area and connect us to that subtle divine power which we have never felt during human awareness. Thus, we get connected to this divine power and we start feeling it on our fingertips. It's described in the Quran that at the time of resurrection, your hands will speak and they will give witness against you. That is, you start feeling your own centers. These are 5, 6 and 7 centers, and they indicate what's wrong with you within yourself. What's the problem? Also, you can feel the cool breeze coming out of your head. Cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. Because this sleeping power, which is called as the Kundalini, Kundala means coils, is the power of pure desire within us. What's she talking? Huh? This is the result, of tensions, on modern tensions. So many such things are happening. People have no peace. That's what I say, the tree has outgrown itself. It must find its roots. In America, they say there are 55% people who suffer from terrible nervousness, and at least 30% people have got schizophrenia. It's a very dangerous thing. If we don't understand how delicately we are made and to realize that we are human beings, the epitome of evolution, we are going to land in great difficulties. We may try to run away from reality, but reality will have an effect on us. Now, So now we have this kind of a mechanism within us existing. Now this is a living process of evolution. And we must understand that we don't pay for living process. And we can't even explain it. Because when you take a small little seed and put it in the Mother Earth, it germinates by itself, spontaneously. You don't pay to the Mother Earth anything. And when it germinates, it grows into a tree and produces thousands of seeds. So in that little seed, the map of all the things it was going to create is there. How it works? We never ask this question. We take all the things for granted. We don't even ask the question how this wonderful eye of ours is made like a camera. And that how we are programmed within ourselves like computers. You see, this is the color. You don't have to think about it, it's there. Through our sensory organs, how we find out things, we never question it. But to answer now all our questions, we have to become the divine computer. And that's why we have to be connected to the mains, I call them, as the people who are self-realized, the people who have got their spirit in their attention. When the attention is enlightened through this happening, then you can see the absolute truth. Like supposing you are holding on to a snake and there's darkness, and somebody tells there is darkness. But you have got a snake in your hand. I can see it. You say, no, I think it is a rope. Now, if you put on the light, immediately that person will drop. In the same way, when the attention gets enlightened by the Spirit, the first nature, innate nature of the Spirit is that it manifests absolute truth. You immediately become so empowered that you give up all those habits which are destructive to your life. Immediately. I've seen people giving up drugs overnight in London. Alcoholism, all kinds of things. I was amazed the way it's working. It's your own power within you. It's just there. It's existing. There's no obligation of any kind. It's just one enlightened candle can enlighten another candle. That's how it works. And it has to work. Otherwise, as I told you, we are standing on the brink of destruction. Leave alone things like drugs and things we take to escape reality. There are so many diseases that have come up and coming up that it is going to be very difficult for us to exist on this Mother Earth after some time. Ecological problems, the uncertainty of life, the insecurities that are built within us. So many conditionings we have. How to get rid of them, how to be cleansed is a very big problem today. And for that, I think it is important that we have to get our self-realization. We talk my body, my hand, my mind, my ego. But which is this my? Which is the I behind it? And when doctors also talk about the autonomous nervous system, they don't say, what is this auto? Who is this auto? We say automobile. So there is a driver sitting, driving the car. But who is driving this car? That is what we have to find out. And that auto is the spirit within us. Unless and until the connection with the divine is established, all other efforts are really fruitless. And that's why many people ask me why all the religions are fighting among themselves, why people who believe in God are fighting among themselves, why they are so sinful, why aren't they so good? The reason is they have not found the truth as yet. Just believing in any God or being born in any religion doesn't make you a righteous person at all. Anybody following any religion can commit any sin. There's no bondage. But when this Kundalini rises into that green part, as you see, we call it as a void. It's the area which is like the bridging. Very significant it is, like Moses bridged. In the same way, this is the bridging. And this bridging, when it takes place, you can cross over this ocean of illusion, as we say. But actually, this ocean of illusion is representing our 10 valencies within us. We have 10 valencies, 10 dharmas, 10 our innate nature as human beings. So when Kundalini rises into this area, it enlightens this area, and a person who is a realized soul doesn't do anything wrong. He doesn't cheat, he doesn't bribes, he is not frightened, he is so courageous, he is so compassionate, he is so dynamic, he is so loving. This is only possible when you are innately religious. Unless and until that happens, the religion outside, the man-made religion, cannot give you what it is promising you. And that's why people are surprised that there is a big difference between the practice and precepts of religion. Every religion has said that you seek yourself. So there was nothing wrong with all the prophets, incarnations, all the saints. They all said the same thing. But we have missed the point. Everything has become either money-oriented or is an intellectual probing. It is through intellectual probing you reach a point where you realize that you have not reached the reality. So what should we do? And this is a very great gift of modern times, which was promised long time back. It's described already in our Puranas that at the time, these modern times called as Kali Yuga, the Parama Chaitanya or this all-pervading power will become active. Means there is Kruta Yuga, it will become active. And through it, thousands of people will get their realization. Even in the Bible, they have said that it's quite a limited number. John has written in his revelation, it's quite a limited number, but we have already crossed that. And so many people have to become realized souls. It's very important today, and it's so easy. Sahaja. Saha is with, Ja is born. Born with you is the right to become one with the divine, united with the divine, that is yoga. Yoga is nothing but to be united with that divine power. That's what yoga is. All other things are subsidiary. This union brings forth new dimensions on our central nervous system. As an evolution, we always develop a new dimension. By this, you develop a new awareness of collective consciousness, by which you can feel other people. They are centers. Sitting down here, you can feel the center of somebody who is dead. Even you can feel his centers and find out what he was. Was he a realized soul or not? You can find out about anybody, whether he was a realized soul or not sitting down here. You have to just think about it, put your hands. If you are a realized soul, you can feel on your fingertips what is the problem. And somehow if you know how to correct those problems, you get rid of your own diseases and the diseases of others, your own problems and the problems of others. First you enter into a state of mind which we call as thoughtless awareness. When you cross this center of Agya, that is placed in the optic chiasma, you become thoughtlessly aware. You are aware, but there is no thought. It's what a blessing it is. See, I see a carpet here. It's beautiful. And when I look at it, if I start thinking, oh, what a good carpet, if it is mine, it's a very big headache, because I'll be thinking, I hope it goes home, is already insured, is not lost, is not spoiled, all kinds of worries about this carpet. Thank God it's not mine, so I look at it. Still I start thinking how much I should pay to get it, from where can I get it. All these thoughts come in. But if I look at it without any thoughts, then the joy of its creation, to whosoever it may belong, so called, starts pouring on me like beautiful flow of joy. Whatever the artist has put into it, all his joy starts pouring. That peace and that joyous feeling within me when I don't think about it. Thinking makes a person mad, creates lots of problems. Too much thinking is wasteful also. As I'll tell you about the second center we have here tomorrow, about the second center, that by thinking how many diseases you get. The other day I was in a radio station, and the gentleman was asking me, how can I get rid of my diabetes? You say that by thinking it happens. I said yes. Because in India, if they have to take tea in a village, the sugar is put so much that the spoon must stand at right angle. And nobody gets diabetes. But people who are sedentary, planning too much, I mean mostly say bureaucrats, diplomats, politicians, they are very vulnerable. What is the reason for that? Which I'll explain to you tomorrow, how we get all these diseases, because we think too much and we cannot stop thinking. But so far, we have to understand that we are all on this, either on the right side or on the left side. We are not in the center. The centers are like this, I would say, the left and the right. And the left side and the right side join together to make the center. Now supposing you are right-sided, means you are using too much of your physical or mental aptitudes. You are planning for future. You are very futuristic. Then this starts extracting energy from the center and starts moving to the left, right. Starts moving to the right. At the same time, if something happens on the left side and you get a jerk, it is broken, then you are vulnerable to diseases which we call as psychosomatic, because this is the one is the somatic and this is the psycho. And these diseases cannot be cured, because if somebody is a doctor, then he doesn't know about psychology. Somebody is psychologist, he doesn't know the medicine. I mean, we have doctors for one eye and another doctor for another eye. We have gone to that limit of specialization. This is the science of integration. It's not a science of specialization, but integration. Because this is one body, it has got the nose, eyes, ears all stuck to one body. And this is one personality. And we have to deal with this personality as a whole. But if we start treating it like one for the nose, one for the ears, it's not going to work out. So when this Kundalini rises through these centers, it brings them back to normal, to the balance, integrates them one with another, and connects them with the mains from where the energy flows inside. And that's how you become very dynamic. You don't get tired. You feel very young. You never feel your age. And you are extremely compassionate and kind. And you love to do good to others. It is so much I have to tell you. Now, Sahaja Yoga is working in 40 nations and working out very well. The most surprising place was USSR. Now the people are saying, Mother, you have been working for 20 years in the West and only you went last year to USSR and you have more Sahaja Yogis there than you have all over the world. Not in India, we have many more, of course, because they know about it. They were not ignorant, so it's all right. If you forget India. I don't know what's so special about them that they could see this so clearly. And one of the snags of Sahaja Yoga is that you cannot pay for it. And this really is the very great snag, I think, because a gentleman from BBC in England told me that Anglo-Saxon brain cannot understand anything that can be done without money. I said, who has made this brain, God or somebody else? It's very surprising. And even I went to Toronto, Boston, and they said, how many Rolls Royces you got? I said, I have none, because I don't take any money. Whatever I have is of my husband's. They said, then we are not interested. You have to be in the business. It's very shocking. This kind of a attitude towards divine. I said, how much money did you pay to Christ? Today also there was a question from a radio. They asked me, you don't take any money, then how do you travel? I said, so far, for quite some time I was traveling with my husband's money, no doubt. But now we have so many Sahaja Yogis and they have some self-respect. And they don't pay me, they pay to the travel agents, not to me. They don't want I to pay for them. Then tomorrow we will say, all right, you pay for our food also. I mean, any self-respecting people can understand that. So if somebody does not take money, they go to that limit that even I should pay for their salvation, coming to their place, I should pay for the hall, I should pay for everything. This kind of a brain, or it's not all of you are not Anglo-Saxon, I hope so. I can't understand. And that's why it has not come up to the point where it should have. On the contrary, I must say, Russians are very brave people. With the war, they have become very strong. On the contrary, in other countries I have seen with the war, they have become very nervous, very frightened. And immediately they took to Sahaja Yoga for one point that you cannot pay for it. They could see it, that you can't pay because it's a living process. It's such a wisdom that clicked. You won't believe, in England I was fighting with 7 hippies for 4 years. The questions, the bombardment, too much. I was about to give up. They just thought that it's something to be attacked. And that's the reason they attacked all the saints, all the incarnations, and all the prophets. But I hope now everybody realizes that we are in trouble. We are all in trouble. We don't know what's going to happen next day. We might get into cancer, might get into some other trouble. We might have any problem that we do not know about. We are not sure of our future. So it is better that we get our special energy that is within us. We get ourselves enlightened and take to something that will make us much wiser, healthier, joyous, and knowledgeable. Knowledge does not mean what you know through your brains, but on your central nervous system. That's what everybody said. That the time has come. It's a blossom time, I call it. There are thousands and thousands who can get realization. It's such a great blessing that we could have our mass realization. On the tree of life, there would have been only 1 or 2 flowers to begin with. But today I call it a blossom time. It's actually the day of judgment. But blossom times seems better to say, is more promising. I hope tonight we all will get realization and enjoy ourselves. May God bless you. Spirit is the source of knowledge, absolute knowledge. Is the source of peace. Is the source of wisdom. Is the source of joy. Is the source that enlightens our attention. We have such a big property with us. We should allow it to enlighten us, shouldn't we? Now I think we should stop the questions, because there's one thing, I'm quite good at answering questions. I'll answer all your questions, but by that I cannot guarantee your realization. I can answer most of your questions, but I can't guarantee your realization. Realization has to work out. So even if you have not been able to ask some question, forget it. You can bring them tomorrow written down, and I would like to answer them when you come tomorrow. Beforehand, if you give, I'll answer them. But just now, I think, tell your mind not to bother you anymore about questions. And that's why I wanted you to ask questions, so that your mind should not suddenly come out like Jack in the box and say, oh, you didn't ask this question, how can you have realization? So the most important thing is to get your realization. So I think let us have it now. I cannot force on you. You have to have it in your free will. So please, those who want to have should be there. It will take hardly 10 minutes to work it out. And then tomorrow again, I'm going to work it out. It's very simple, very easy. But those who don't want to have it should not be in the hall. It's not proper, it's not civil. So all those who want to have it are welcome. at the very outset. At the very outset, there are two conditions I have to tell you. First one, as I told you before also, you have to forget the past. You have to forgive yourself. And know that you are not guilty at all. All these ideas are given to you that you are sinful, you are guilty, you are this and that, because they wanted to cash it. You don't have to suffer either. So first of all, you should know that you must forgive yourself and must have self-esteem, and you should be very pleasantly placed towards yourself, because you are going to enter into the kingdom of God. This is the first condition. Now the second condition is that you have to forgive everyone. Some will say it's very difficult to forgive. But whether you forgive or don't forgive, you don't do anything. It's a myth. But if you don't forgive, then you really play into the hands of the people who want to torture you. So best is to forgive them, forget about them. Forgive and forget. But don't start counting how many people have to forgive, what mistakes they have done, nothing of the kind. Just in general say, I forgive everyone. Just. And it's done. Because divine is the ocean of forgiveness, is a very powerful ocean of forgiveness. And you cannot do anything that it cannot forgive. And once you say, I forgive, divine takes over. We don't have to bother. Alright? These are the two conditions we have. Very simple conditions, I think. We have to take out our shoes to take the help of the Mother Earth. That's very important. You have to put your left hand towards me, like this, in a comfortable way. You can keep it on your lap, whatever is comfortable. Now this represents that you desire to have your realization. So you keep it all the time like this. And with the right hand, we'll nourish our centers. With the right hand, we will nourish our centers. And so you will know also how to raise your Kundalini yourself. So two things can be done. Your Kundalini will be raised, as well as you will know how to feel your centers within yourself and how to correct them. We'll be working only on the left hand side. So now you have to put the left hand towards me. First I'll show you, he will show you what is to be done. And then you'll have to close your eyes later on. First we'll put our hand on our heart. In the heart resides the spirit. Then we'll have to put our hand on the upper portion of our abdomen on the left hand side. This is the center of your mastery created by great masters. Then you have to take your right hand in the lower portion of your abdomen on the left hand side, which is a very important center which manifests this pure knowledge on your central nervous system. Then you have to raise your hand higher, again onto the left side of your abdomen on the upper part, press it hard on the center of mastery. Then to your heart again and then on to the corner or between your neck and your shoulder from the front side. Not from the back, but from the front side. And turn your head to your right. Now this center is very important because this catches on very much, especially in the West, because people all the time feel guilty. And because of this, people get spondylitis and angina and all other lethargic organs diseases. So please put your hand here as far back as possible and turn your head to your right. Now, take your right hand and put it on your forehead across and try to put your head down slowly, resting on this hand. And now press it on both the sides as we do it when we have a headache. This is the center for forgiving others. Then you have to take down your hand, take up your hand onto the back side of your head, where the optic lobe is, here at the back. And now turn your head upward as far as possible, resting on your hand. This is the center where you have to ask for forgiveness from the divine without feeling guilty, is for your satisfaction. Now, stretch your hand, stretch your palm, and put the center of your palm just on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was the soft bone in your childhood. And now bend your head, please, downward as much as possible. Push back your fingers, push back as much as possible. Now there will be a pressure on the scalp. Now move this pressure on the scalp slowly clockwise 7 times. You have to move the scalp, not your hand so much as the scalp, 7 times clockwise, slowly. Bend your head. That's what we'll have to do. That's all, nothing more. That's the only thing we have to do. Now, you can take out your spectacles if you want, because you're closing your eyes and might help your eyesight also. Now, put your left hand towards me, comfortably. Put your feet apart from each other. And now, put your right hand on your heart and close your eyes. Here you have to ask me a very important question. In your heart, you ask me a question as you would ask a computer. You can call me Shri Mataji or Mother, whatever you like. Mother, am I the spirit? Ask the question. In your heart, not loudly. 3 times, ask in your heart, not loudly. Mother, am I the spirit? You have to only ask in your heart. If you are the spirit, you become your own guide, you become your own master, you become your own guru. So now take down your right hand into the upper portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. And here you have to ask another question 3 times, not loudly, in your heart. Mother, am I the spirit? Mother, am I my own master? Mother, am I my own master? Ask this question 3 times. Am I my own master? I have told you that I respect your freedom, and the pure knowledge cannot be forced on you. So please take your right hand in the lower portion of your abdomen and say it 6 times, asking me, Mother, please give me pure knowledge. I cannot force on you. You have to ask in your free will. As soon as you ask for the pure knowledge, the Kundalini starts moving upward. So now we have to nourish the higher centers with our self-confidence. Raise your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen. Press it hard on the left hand side. And here, with full confidence, you have to say 10 times in your heart, not loudly. Mother, I am my own master. Please say this 10 times. Mother, I am my own master. I told you at the very outset that the greatest truth about you is that you are not this body, you are not this mind, you are not these conditionings, emotions, nor this ego, but you are the spirit, you are the pure spirit. So now raise your right hand onto your heart and ask here, or say with full confidence 12 times, Mother, I am the spirit. Just say it without any hesitation. Say it 12 times, please. For your information, you have to know that a divine power is the source of knowledge, is the ocean of knowledge, is the ocean of love. It is the ocean of peace and ocean of bliss. But above all, it is the ocean of forgiveness. So you cannot commit any mistake which cannot be dissolved by the power of this ocean of forgiveness. So please raise your right hand in the corner of your neck and your shoulder. Push it back as much as possible and turn your head to your right. And with full confidence, please say 16 times. Full confidence in your heart. Mother, I am not guilty at all. All right. As I told you before, that you have to forgive everyone. And those who say it is difficult, they must know that it is a myth whether you forgive or don't forgive. But if you don't forgive, then you play into the wrong hands and get yourself tortured by yourself. So please forgive. in general, everyone, not counting how many people you have to forgive, what you have to forgive, but just say, by raising your hand and putting it on top of your forehead across, putting down your head as much as possible, resting on your hand. Please say, with an open heart, please say, Mother, I forgive everyone. Please say it. Please say, otherwise it is difficult later on for me. I have to clear out everybody's agya and it takes too much time then. So best is to say it from your heart. After all, you are not going to miss your self-realization for that. Now take back your right hand on the back side of your head and put your head on it, resting on it, upward. Here you have to say for your own satisfaction, O Divine, if I have done any mistakes, please forgive me. But don't feel guilty. Don't count your mistakes. Don't think about them. In general, you have to say, O Divine, please forgive me if I have done any mistakes or anything wrong, anything against you. Now, stretch your palm. Stretch your palm and put the center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your child. Now, put down your head properly. And here, push back your fingers as far as possible. Please push back. This is very important. And now put a pressure on your scalp and move your scalp slowly 7 times clockwise. Here again, I respect your freedom and I cannot force self-realization on you. So here you have to say 7 times, bending your head properly and pressing it hard, moving 7 times. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Please ask 7 times, please. Now take down your hands and put them towards me. Little higher. Now little bit put your right hand like this. Bend your head and see for yourself if there's a cool breeze coming out of your head. But don't touch it. Above your head. Above your head. And some people get it far. So just try to feel if there's a cool breeze coming out of your head. Now don't start doubting that is air conditioning and all that. Air conditioning cannot come out of your head. So see for yourself. Now put your left hand towards me. Now again bend your head and see for yourself if there's a cool breeze coming out of your head. All right? Now put your right hand again, and again bend your head, and see for yourself if there's a cool breeze coming out of your head. It might be hot also, doesn't matter. It may be heat coming out first and then the cool breeze. Doesn't matter if it is hot, doesn't matter. No. Put your both the hands towards the sky like this. Bend back and ask me a question. 3 times you can ask me the question, Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Mother, is this the all-pervading power of divine love? Mother, is this the Parama Chaitanya? Ask any one of these questions 3 times. Now put down here. Now watch me without thinking. You can do it. Those who have felt the cool breeze in their hands or out of their fontanelle bone area, whether cool or hot, please raise both your hands. Both. See. Just see the amas. Just see. Wonderful. May God bless you. I bow to you all because you have started now your saintly life. And all those who didn't get also should not get disappointed. On the contrary, if time permits, I would like to meet the people who have felt the cool breeze, and those who haven't felt can come on this side and the Sahajogis can work on them. Again tomorrow you must come, so you will be fixed properly. Those who want to meet me can come and see me because there is some time, and in the meanwhile we can have some music. Now don't think about it. If you start thinking, you'll be lost. Just don't think about it. It's beyond thinking. Thank you very much. Thank you. Beautiful. Oh my. Thank you. It's beautiful flowers. If you can push this up, I would like to meet people. Yeah.